All right. Man, what am I trying to do today, right? Like, this is the third try, okay? Normally we start this show at 4 o'clock, and anybody who's done live stuff knows that there's hiccups along the way, and this is only our third week, so I'm still learning as I go. But, man, I would really like this show just to, happen smoothly. I apologize for my appearance for this week. Originally wasn't planning on doing a show because of the 4th of July holiday yesterday, but I got a few things I want to get out of the way, and we're just going to roll with it. So hello and welcome to another weekly edition of the greatest wedding show by Crown DJs, where I take deep dives into anything regarding the wedding industry and, anything for anyone specifically getting married in Nebraska. Now, I got to do a quick sound check. Anyone specifically. It sounds good. This might be our best week for audio. If you're new to the show, then all I ask is that you drop your wedding date in the comments. Don't drop the wedding date. Put it in the comments. Let me know when you guys are getting married. If you want to tell me where your wedding's at, even better, whatever. The more that you share, the more I can possibly help you in making your wedding a super, super awesome day. But feel free to ask any questions as well that you may have. If I can't answer them, then that helps me because I'll bring on an expert and they'll be able to answer it. Anything else? I don't think so. My name's Derrick. I'm the proud owner of Crown DJs, where we provide elite wedding entertainment for clients in Lincoln, Omaha, and the surrounding areas. If you're looking for a DJ to take your wedding to the next level and beyond, just go to crowndjs.com and we'll be glad to give you a pricing. Today's topics, I'll be sharing my very unpopular opinion on weddings that are happening on Husker Football game days. And then also I'll be talking about how to save thousands, not millions, not hundreds, thousands on your wedding decor. But before we get into that, the way I usually like to start this show is talking about my weddings from the past weekend. And this one was a busier than usual weekend because I had a Friday and Saturday wedding. And then this weekend, Crown DJs has 3 weddings going on, so I'm excited to see how those turn out. But this past weekend, I was up in the DC Center up in Omaha for Hillary and Greg's wedding, and super nice. I was actually in the big room at the DC Center, and honestly, I can't begin to say just how nice of a room that is compared to the one that's kind of a coat closet. Not to hate on anybody who gets married in there, but I've been in that room, that second room. I think they have 3 rooms there. I've been in that second room when they should probably only have maybe 50 to 100 people, and they try to cram 200 people in there like sardines. And it just feels super claustrophobic and just uncomfortable and all that stuff. And I finally got to go in the big room after 6 times of DJing there. And I got to say, it's much nicer. It's just so much nicer to be able to spread out a little bit more. The sound floats perfectly in that room. I don't have to feel like I'm overpowering the sound to go over people. If people are still talking when I'm trying to make announcements, people next to those talkers can still hear me clearly. But when you're crammed into a little box, it just feels like sound is just going over each other, louder and louder and louder, and suddenly next thing you know, you're shouting to the person next to you. When I'm in that second room at the DC Center, it's just funny how many times people ask me to turn the music down, and I'm like, listen, I'm barely even playing. It's loud because people are talking over each other, not because of the music. But I don't think they know that. They just see somebody who's working and they feel like they can tell somebody what to do. And I'll just smile and nod and say, sure, and not even touch the volume of the music because we're barely even playing it. I don't try to overpower the sound, but it is what it is. But today's topic, no. Then I want to talk about Saturday's wedding. So Greg and Hillary on Friday was excellent. They weren't very big dancers, but it seemed like they had a good time. At the very end, last half hour or so, they really got into it. Saw some pretty interesting things happen. It's always funny to see people drink who haven't drank in a while or don't drink too often, because they go all out when they're around their people and when the kids are gone and the grandparents and stuff. And it was just bonkers for that last half hour. So big congratulations goes out to Hillary and Greg. Thank you for having Crown DJs at your wedding. Georgie and I learned a lot from that experience, and I'm excited to talk to him about that, on how we can make our product better. Then on Saturday, I was alone. I went to Columbus, Nebraska, which is about an hour and a half north of where I live. And we did a wedding from 6 until midnight, and it kind of just felt like the whole night just happened super fast. Like, I say that to everybody, but this wedding happened like it was over like that. The nice thing was they only had one serving line. And if you go back to our past episodes, you know how I feel about one serving line. But these ladies were, they're whipping it out. I think we got through 500 people with one serving line in less than 60 minutes, which is how it's supposed to be. Dinner should not take more than 60 minutes. And then I worked with Gary Pelster, which, if you're my client, then you probably have seen Gary Pelster's Video Images Company show up on my pricing sheet. Shout out to Gary and his wife. He's in Cancun right now, and I'm just jealous. But long story short, okay, we go into dinner. Oh, no. Let's back all the way up. So grand entrance happens at like 6:15. Their wedding party is massive. I think they have like 20 people in it. So that takes a full song. And right before we announced the bride and groom, we announced the maid of honor and the best man. And they do a chest bump. And this guy is like my size, 6'2". I'm not going to say my weight, but it's up there. But I can't say my weight on this. This will be on the record. And I'm trying to lower that, by the time a big crowd sees this episode. But anyway, the maid of honor and the best man come out, they're partying, blah, blah, blah. And he does a chest bump to her, and he sends the maid of honor flying to the point that she lands with her back into the corner of the door frame. And I was like, oh. Like, the whole room was either laughing or concerned for this girl, but she got off, she shook it off, and we just went in, and I'm not even gonna lie, like, the room was roaring with laughter, because that just obviously wasn't planned. It was supposed to be a nice chest bump and turn around and walk, but no, they kind of stole the spotlight for a good 30 seconds. And I mean, guys, this brought me back to pre-COVID era weddings, which is like 500 guests just like freaking roaring like they're at a basketball game. I announced the bride and groom to come in, Mr. and Mrs. Von Cannon, and just going absolute berserk. And it was so loud that I made a second announcement to, one more time, make some noise for the newlyweds, and nobody could even hear me say it because they're already screaming. So and then it just went into the wedding. We get through dinner super fast, and the next thing you know, we're ready for the dances. We kicked things off. Everything was on time, which I was surprised with. Gary, the videographer, played a day of shot video, which was 20 minutes, and we still happened to get on time because his video was 10 minutes longer than we expected. Started the dances at 8, went till midnight. And I'll be honest, it's not easy. It's not easy playing 4 hours to a dance floor, especially at a wedding. But we did it, and it was crazy from start to finish. And Tate and Addie, I also wish you guys a super, super happy life together. Congratulations, and thanks for having me as your DJ. So thank you. So this is almost clickbait. Just for like, I don't know how else to say this. Just full disclosure, I'm a big Huskers fan. I've gone to games my entire life ever since I was a little boy. And, I was a part of my early childhood was living through that time when Lincoln was just a powerhouse when it came to college football. Okay. And what I'm about to say and what you can see down here is I'm going to say something that's probably going to rub some people the wrong way. Okay. This is going to be somewhat controversial, and it's not completely intended to be like that. So I'm just going to throw it out there. For anyone who wants to get married in Nebraska on a fall Saturday, you got to be ready for this hot take, okay? I'm not the official spokesman for fall Saturdays, but I might as well be because I've DJ'd some parties for the Nebraska football team. But they're not going to like this. I might never get hired from them again. But Bill Moose quit, and it is what it is. But here it is, okay? I think it's okay to have your wedding on a Husker football game day, a fall Saturday. There. I said it. I mean, let's be honest. When's the last time they were even remotely relevant? Okay. How many times have you been super excited for the first game and you probably don't even listen to talk radio about them by November? You can't even say like 2016 was the last time they were relevant because they went 9-4, and honestly, I feel like that was a fluke. Just look at the last 6 seasons. I got it pulled up right here. Okay. 3-5 last year, 2020, 5-7 in 19, 4-8 in 2018 and 2017, 9-4 fluke, 6-7 in 2015. Look, it's time for Nebraskans to find something better to do on fall Saturdays. This is simply my opinion, and I realize that some of you fans from Nebraska on YouTube are going to be triggered by this, but I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I'm a big fan. I go to games. Don't jump me at Memorial Stadium if you see me there, but if you disagree, then you're welcome to share your thoughts or comments. But when we're talking about the last 6 seasons, the football program has won 31 games, okay? 6 seasons, 31 wins. In the 90s, it took Tom Osborne less than 3 seasons to get 31 wins, and he wasn't even playing the amount of games that they are now, okay? The players on the team right now weren't even alive. They weren't even born. They weren't even consummated yet in 1997 when we won our last national championship, okay? Just put that in perspective. 1999 is probably some of the oldest players' birth year, okay? And for the last 50 years, engaged couples have been forced to avoid certain wedding dates simply because they feared that guests were going to choose to watch the Husker game than watch them celebrate their wedding day on probably the best day of their lives. And I think that's just really messed up, okay? You'd rather watch a team who loses 62% of your games than see a good friend or family member get married. Now, also, this exists. This really happens. Is those guests that show up and has their phone out and they're literally just like looking down, watching the game, super tacky. Like they show up in a Husker polo just to like ruffle the feathers a little bit. And I'm like, you'll be all right if you don't see Nebraska blow that fourth quarter lead, okay? It's going to be fine, you know. You'll get the gist when you jump into the forums afterwards, okay? Trust me, you can do much better stuff at weddings than just sitting on your phone watching a freaking football game. I'm just saying. Do you know how many Husker games I've had to watch after it was over, knowing the final result? Pretty much all of them since 2006, I'll say. Maybe 2004. I was in the Marines. Half the time I didn't even know the result of a game because I was in Iraq for like 3 days, and I was checking the newspaper. I'm just like, well, the Huskers lost. It was what it was. But it's okay to get married on a Husker football game day, especially when the game's in Lincoln. Away games, completely inbounds. Go for it. Do it. But maybe not in downtown Lincoln when it's a Husker game day, okay? But South or East Lincoln, even like far west Lincoln, like Playmore or Country Pines, places like that, I think it's full on. I think you're okay with it. Or the outskirts of Denton, Adams, or even Crete, Palmyra, places like that. And, when they start contending for something again, maybe anything. They win a division, they show up to the Big Ten championship, but not just show up because they're in a weak-ass division, but they actually have a chance, and we're like, oh my God, we're going to win, which is when's the last time we talked about winning a conference championship? I want to say it was the finale for Nebraska when we played Texas with Ndamukong Suh, right? So the next time we start contending for something or anything, I'll make a new video that declares Husker football Saturdays are off limits again, okay? But until then, if you're planning on getting married on a fall Saturday, book your wedding on a game day. Go for it. Oh, man. I can't wait till I make that a separate clip and I just get targeted with all types of hate. All types of hate. But I digress. So we're going to move on, and we'll see how those comments fall out. Hopefully. Maybe this channel's not popular enough to do that yet, but it is what it is. And then this is how you save thousands on your wedding decor. First off, if any of my wedding planner friends or rental business owners are watching this, then they're most likely going to hit the down thumb button, and that's totally fine. It's anonymous, but I'm just going to assume that that's you guys, okay? I just like offering alternatives to the norms in the industry. I mean, I see them all the time when they come to DJs and stuff, so why not go after the other stuff, okay? Sometimes that goes against what my colleagues prefer. But weddings are super expensive, and for some, the pros that work in this industry are against anything DIY related, which is understandable, but that's how a lot of us make money. And if DIY starts cutting into it, then we might as well be put out of work, unless you are in like the DIY game, which is like, shout out to Wedding Consign and Design out there on 70th and Vine. Whoa. Oh, I wonder if they know that. The rhyme. Their name is a rhyme with the address. They got to know that. Wedding Consign and Design out there on 70th and Vine. But anybody else, I don't know of anybody else who helps you take your DIY wedding decor game to the next level like they do. So wasn't planning on giving them a plug, but there you go. So anyway, a lot of us make money off of people not doing the DIY approach. And for example, I roll my eyes every time I hear a bride say that they're just going to rent a PA system and play Spotify. I'm like, why did you even reach out to me in the first place? But if you think that all I'm doing is playing music, then you have no idea what value Crown DJs and other DJs bring to your wedding, especially ones I've been doing this for quite some time. So that's another topic for another time. For today, I want to talk about how to save money on your wedding decor if you're balling on a budget, and that can be achieved by purchasing this super magical device. It's a Cricut Explore 2, because ever since I got mine, it's been a total game changer. And you can make shirts for your bachelorette parties, custom wine tumblers for when you're just rolling around town and you want to sip from it and not let the cops know that you got beer in there or wine. What else? Signs for welcoming your guests to your wedding, tote bags for party favors, thank you cards, and on and on and on. Okay, I've made all these things, even though I'm not getting married yet, probably. Shh. Don't tell Leanne. Anyway, my girlfriend and I bought ours back in January, and it took me about 2 or 3 mess-ups before I really got the hang of it. And now my friends are hitting me up to put logos on their workout outfits for marathons, T-shirts for their 4-year-old's birthday party, pillows for Mother's Day gifts. I think that's really, I mean, we gotten hired by a bar in Kansas who wanted to make shirts to sell to their clients. And I wouldn't be able to do any of that stuff, making a side income, if it wasn't for my Cricut Explore 2. I think that's what it's called. Cricut Explore Air 2. So, I think I paid about $250 for the machine, and then I just follow all kinds of different accounts on Instagram. One in particular, I'll just show you guys real fast, is Scorch. I want to say it's called Scorch Maker. Scorch Marker, okay? And they sell wood burning kits so that you can cut out a stencil using your Cricut and then trace your design onto wood. And when you're ready, you can take out a heat gun and, burn the design into the wood. And it's super cool. I haven't bought one yet, but I am going to get one. It's actually a lot cheaper than I thought it'd be, but I imagine that the marker runs out of ink super fast. But yeah, that's super cool. So with wood, or with our barn weddings that are super popular in Nebraska, I think something like this would be awesome. Super easy. You cut out the stencil, color it, and then take out your heat gun, and you can make just tons and tons of like table markers and stuff like that. So I'm telling you, this is a giant rabbit hole that you guys will want to dive into. If you're a crafty person like me, which is weird to say because I'm male and I get hated on by a lot of people. But you might enjoy the DIY approach to your wedding. And instead of letting someone else do all of it for you, you don't even have to be a super crafty person, but it helps if you are. This isn't something that's terribly complicated. All you have to do is maybe search on Google, YouTube, Pinterest for any wedding decor ideas using Cricut. Okay. Google that exact phrase, wedding decor ideas for Cricut. And you'll get really valuable resources that will take you step by step to creating some super unique and customized designs for your wedding day. Then there's some really good Facebook groups where there are people that share their designs too. So let me show you those. You guys are going to see my Facebook. Probably got a ton of notifications. Oh, one, I'm just flooding with popularity today. So one of them is called Cricut Tips and Tricks. Great group to be in. and gives me inspiration. You can just see all the groups I'm in right now. I'm just going to scroll until we see more of them. Pugs are where it's at. You know, there's cricket tips and tricks. Highly recommend it. I think I got 3 friends in there. I'm in more than that. Let me just see. It just sucks that I just join whatever group whenever and don't realize that I don't care about what I'm in. But if you're looking for some awesome ideas, or if you're looking for like help, you can literally just say, hey guys, I'm getting married. Put this into the group as a post. I'm getting married and I need some inspiration for my wedding. Cricket tips and tricks sublimation. Go to cricket tips and tricks. Oh, I thought I was in more than that. Well, anyway, yeah, get in those groups, because if it wasn't for those groups, I wouldn't be able to do half the things that I'm doing. And there's some really creative people out there who are making money. This could be the start of a business for you. And I'll be honest, nobody in Lincoln or Omaha is creating the types of things that you could create for your own wedding. Okay. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments. I know there's 1,000,001 things that goes into planning, and you're probably, you don't have a lot of time to pick up new hobbies because this is just a crazy time in your life. But if you're looking to make some custom things for your wedding, then I highly recommend investing in a Cricut. This is something that you'll probably use for things even after your wedding, for your first home, newborn children, Christmas, gifts, etc. So before you make the commitment to buying a Cricut, just do some research. That's what I did. I thought about doing it about 2 weeks before I made the purchase. I joined this group, saw the designs I could make, and then I did it. I purchased it, and I haven't looked back since. I've sold enough things on there that I've definitely made my money back. But first I would say figure out your wedding budget, the official wedding budget. And once you have it all figured out, that'll help you decide if you want to hire a decorator or if you want to do it all yourself. And anytime you do it yourself, it should be cheaper, but it's really not, because your decorator might already have a lot of the stuff that they don't have to. They're just simply tacking on a rental charge for you. But whatever. And if you end up buying a Cricut and decide to not use it like you originally intended, so if you buy one and you want to get rid of it, the resale on this machine is just incredible, especially if you don't use it very often. The resale value of Cricut machines, so if you get one for like $250, I bet you'll be able to sell it for like $200 minimum, maybe $220. So the resale value of these things is incredible, and someone will take it off your hands right away. So, but anyway, this show ended up taking a little bit longer than I expected. I wanted this to be a shorter show than even last week because it's 4th of July weekend, but we're almost hitting 30 minutes now, and I appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch this show, whether it's 10 seconds, 10 minutes, or 10 hours. One thing I just want to point out is that our year for 2021 is coming to an end already. Yes, we're halfway over, but I'm talking about bookings. So we have still some dates available, especially for my associate DJs. So if you guys want to have Crown DJs at your wedding, whether that's DJ, photo booth, or cold sparklers, all you got to do is go to crowndjs.com and just fill out a form, and we'll set up an appointment and go over pricing with you. Also, anybody who's looking for some extra pay to make on Fridays and Saturdays, hit me up. My email is Derrick@crowndjs.com. If you don't know the spelling, go to my website and get the spelling. That's, we're looking to take on more really good, trustworthy, high energy, positive people to come work at Crown DJs. And if you fall into that category, I'm going to say it's going to feel more like fun than working. And I know a lot of people say that, but we actually do it. This will be the easiest way to make a side income other than having to take your clothes off on a stripper pole. And if you're interested in that, then we probably don't want you here. But not to hate on them, but just it's a different kind of professional entertainment. But anyway, my name is Derrick Hayden. I'm with Crown DJs, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out, watching the greatest wedding show. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I'll see you next week with another edition.